Hello, audience and listeners. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rice and Beans. Today we are once again in the cut of sea level with Mr. Victor. And Mr. Victor is Nigerian as well. So this will actually be our second interview featuring Nigeria. Now, let's talk about Nigeria a little bit.
All right.
But I guess focusing on the familial relationship.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So, the stereotype that I've heard from a little bird is that Nigerian parents are very strict.
Yeah, that would be an understatement. So I can only speak anecdotally and about my experiences and the experiences of other people. Because, I know some people, when I talk to them, like other Nigerians, they'll be like, yeah, my parents are pretty cool, nice and strict. From what I know, that's not the usual experience.
What is the usual experience then?
All they care about, especially like the ones that move here, is your education. They don't care about what you like.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about what you want. It's it all comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be successful. You don't have a choice in the matter. It's just
what do they consider a success? Are you talking money? Are you talking like becoming like a physician or a acclaimed researcher or whatever else?
I think the most popular for most Nigerian parents is doctor, lawyer.
So generally prestigious things.
But yeah, careers like those, they don't. I guess if you were to try to break out into like more artsy stuff like music or art, there'd definitely be some pushback initially.
But
if you make it at the end, then it's whatever. And I think sports might also be. If you have the talent, you're still going to have to focus on like my little brother, he wants to play soccer professionally.
Wow.
And, my parents butted heads with him a lot at first and still kind of do, but they're definitely a lot more supportive.
Does this come from only the parents, or are other relatives also similarly, trying to control the future of these children?
So, me personally, we don't have anyone else in this country, so it's only us. Mm-hmm. It's only me, my brothers, and my parents, so we don't really know anyone else. But even if they're not your parents, you just meet other Nigerians around, like your parents' friends, like that underlying pressure is down there. Because the first thing they'll always ask you is how's school, But
So what are some manifestations of this strictness besides this straight up like pressure? Because like we talk about overall pressure, but what does that help the audience like sort of feel what it's like?
How do they parent?
Because a lot of people, at least at this school, understand they have an idea of what a strict parent is. But I feel like your idea of what a strict parent is differs from my idea of what a strict parent is.
All right, what's your idea of a strict parent?
So, I know she's listening. Hi, Mom. But my mom's Colombian, and a lot of the Latinx people around here will actually bond over the fact that our mothers were extremely strict, talking just like overprotective, meddling, like really trying to get involved in everything. Like you said, it's all out of love and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like overbearing. And then there's La Chancla, which is it's kind of a joke, not really, where they'll like threaten to hit you with a sandal / maybe do it, maybe not do it. But and then just like an overall emotionally charged intensity.
All right. As far as in terms of parenting style, I guess that's definitely there. Maybe it's just my family, but there's not really a whole lot of affection that goes on. It's I don't know, especially as like when you're really young as a child, you don't really have a whole lot of say in anything that goes on. And again, maybe it's just my family, but when I was growing up, and still to this day, me and my father's relationship is he tells me what to do, and I'll do it, or I'll lie and say that I did and don't actually. And like when I was younger, if I, was stupid enough to either forget or just not do the thing that I was told to do, then the beating was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, it was just when and how severe it would be, depending on like the magnitude of your error.
So is this common among Nigerians?
As far as I can tell, yeah, it's so common that we laugh about it. Like me and my
That's
friends,
one way to go.
Me and my friends would get together and would just like tell stories of some of the insane shit that our parents did to us when we were kids, and we'll laugh about it. And it's a really big bonding experience that we have.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things about culture. It allows you to bond. What good things do you think came out of it? Do you think it like toughened you up for the real world?
It definitely did. I like to think I'm pretty disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a big part of my dad. And I also don't let a lot of stuff get to me. And that's a big part because of my mom. Because when she's mad, and I think this may also just go for Nigerian mothers, she will say anything. And if, like when I was a kid, my feelings would get hurt and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna say some of the stuff that she said, but
I see.
it was, it's. I guess you kind of learn to just shut it off and be like, oh, either she doesn't really mean it when she says that, or I don't really care anymore.
All right, that's a good way. That's so translatable outside because the world is a terrible place, and I guess on the bright side of all this, it's preparing you to deal with the BS that the world's gonna fling at you. You could either, as you said, say, "Oh, this didn't really."
A bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, this was an overreaction.
Yeah, it definitely affected the way I look at and react to stuff. I don't really react to a whole lot of stuff, and because on some level, I guess you think, oh, she's doing that to get some sort of reaction. So
Yeah. Oh, I see. All right, let's move on to a different topic.
All right.
So, do you consider yourself African? So, sorry, I
Yeah.
never asked you. When did your family move to, what generation moved to the States?
My parents and I came to this country when I was 5, I want to say, with my little brother in tow. And that was, me and him were born in Nigeria, and then the younger two were born here.
Mm-hmm. And what motivated the immigration?
The way they've explained it to me is there's this lottery system to immigrate into the United States.
Seems like it.
And they won. And my mom did not want to come initially. She didn't want to leave her family and their mother, which is, completely understandable to me because it's, a completely different country, culture. You don't know anybody or anything. But they're like, we come here. The whole reason was we come here, we have a better life for our kids.
Yeah.
So let's go. And that was a decision they make. So I'm always grateful for that. But and it's always in the back of my mind.
That's a very common reason for people to come here. A lot of people on Rice and Beans have had parents who said very similar, if not the same thing. So I guess you were a little bit, you kind of grew up with American culture all around you. Do you remember a lot about Nigeria from when you were 5?
No, I don't. And I haven't been back yet, which kind of bugs me. On one level, it bugs me.
Since you were 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I want to go back, but
Yeah.
I don't really want to go back with my parents. I kind of want
I
to
see.
go and experience it for myself. But
Do you feel disconnected from your Nigerian identity to some extent?
no, not particularly.
How do you maintain it?
Because it's never been something that goes away. My parents speak Yoruba around me in the house.
I see.
I understand it pretty well. I just can't speak it myself. I know how to cook the food. Only thing that I'm not too in tune with is maybe the music and the dancing. But I'm just not a person that enjoys dancing. I'll see it and appreciate it, but my body doesn't move like that.
I don't see you as a dancer, no.
No, I'm not.
No offense to that.
But it's never. I mean, maybe when I was younger, I had the moments where I tried rejecting it, and I just tried to be more in tune with American culture. But I don't even really think I started listening to American music until I was in middle school. And before that, it was just Nigerian gospel music or old Afro beat music. My dad would play King Sunny Ade in the car all the time, and I remember being young and being like, what is this? Why does he listen to this? But there were some that I definitely enjoyed, like Wabaja or Yinka Yefela.
Yeah, something we've noticed with other guests is that, when you're growing up and your parents are just fresh from another country, they spent most of their lives, if not all of it, in a different country. And then, whereas you only spent a small fraction, there's this desire to sort of reject that culture that's being so imposed on you by your parents when you're already surrounded by what the majority culture is. In this case, it was America, and it seems frustrating to a certain point, but how did you sort of get out of that?
For me, that was never the problem. I think I always, enjoyed my culture and the food and, stuff like that. When I was young, I was made fun of. So and I guess around 7th grade, I just kind of stopped caring, and from there it's just like, well, accepting what I am and who I am. And
what were they making fun of specifically?
around black people, you're always gonna get like clowned for something, and for me, and I think a lot of immigrants that are African, being African was one of those things that was just like an easy target to make fun of. So
I see.
Yeah.
So this is black on black.
yeah, I guess you could call it that. Yeah.
And I see.
Yeah.
And it's like against African.
Yeah. I don't think it's like that much now, or maybe it's just a symptom of being young and in middle school. But that was because it definitely is, like, I don't know, being African seems to be more popular now, if that makes any sense. It just seems to be more accepted. But when I was younger, it's definitely a thing that like you could make fun of, like African booty scratcher or some shit.
Wow.
Or making fun of the accent.
Because when I was interviewing Peace on the subject of like African and African American, there was this whole sentiment of on the African American part of like a frustration of not knowing where you come from, or if you do, feeling completely separated from that. And that would be like sort of, I'm thinking now that maybe this is a manifestation. I mean, middle school is a whole cesspool of hormones and debauchery, and that's just like
I think that was
a
probably
workaround.
Just kids learning how to interact with stuff and just not being stupid and not knowing anything.
Yeah, if you're not getting made fun of in middle school for anything, I don't know if you're going to a middle school.
Exactly, but I think that frustration is definitely there, and on some level it does kind of bug me, only because a lot of Africans, I will say, have this weird air of superiority, I guess, around African Americans that irritates the hell out of me. Because I don't get it.
Yeah.
What
does it look like, and why do you think it happened?
Yeah. So African, especially like people in my parents' generation. I don't think the younger generation does it as much, but people in our generation, my parents' generation, look at it as, we came to this country, and we seem to be doing all right. So why is it that you who've been here for all this time,
I see.
are screwed? Like, not doing that well without, taking into account all of the shit that's been going on.
It seems like these parents highly value success over everything, and they judge the person primarily on their success. They don't care about your feelings, any of that or
shit.
anything else. That's wow.
But
it's a great perspective to share, at least.
It's because in the countries they come from, ruined by corruption and shit, and just destroyed by colonialism, that are still trying to, very relatively young countries, they're still trying to build themselves back up into what they can, and I hope they will be. They look at America and they're like, everything is laid out for you here. The opportunities are there. You just have to go out and find them and utilize them. So, and I mean, on some level I do get that, but they just either ignore or are unaware of some of the serious issues that this country. It's not that they're unaware of it, because I know they see it, but I think they just ignore some of the serious issues that this country has. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today on Rice and Beans. It was great hearing your perspectives on all these matters, and is even better to have a second look at Nigeria from a different perspective. Lots of similarities, lots of differences. All right, thanks for tuning in to Rice and Beans. This has it's been another episode. Don't forget to check out the music on the playlist that will be linked in the description. You already know how we do it. All right, have a great week, guys.
Bye.